5 year be returning the next game na Chelsea be bono. Same for branch friend for fun on so nim time obeba. And no they say so it say it is also the story for Mihalo Mudryk. Ye nim time obe returning. El hodom. It is enranaju. There is a Ukrainian outlet called Donetsk Landsk. I mean, a representation of Ukraine for more London as on my outlet. Then they broke the story. I'm breaking story now. So people really wanted to find out what the issue is. In fact, 2 weeks ago, Mihalo Mudryk was spotted in Ukraine. Now, what's the son of representatives? The agents for no more Jumano. Was the son just 2 weeks ago. And it's around that time that's our issue about this morning, Matt's Law, The Athletic, they all reporting say Mihalo Mudryk representatives say, I'm Bessombeka Bibia. Boy, any statements, no, they are 12 months, and say, no, only Moshe. I mean, some of these things, players say work it out. Players say, dear Neo Moody, it can be in there. Yeah. And a bit me affect you, man. Every crowd fed, you know. Exactly. To even at a point say, you know, Cressa and Pampa saying Athletic for report to say Okofa when he was away on international duty in Ukraine. Say Okofa or Hormon. Maybe he was advised by the medic say by the time we go back to England, you know. Now, say your half-life of drugs, the average time, and I say, take it for half the drug system to take effect or work. Okay. And maybe he was told, say, by the time we go back to England, and they drone a few system. Okay. So there may not be any traces of it. Into what far hormone, you are okay. You can come back and come and do your work. I feel my test sample A, which is the initial test. Into Omo Cheng, is he Maminka Bibi Inchesu? We at Chelsea near. I don't think that you have ever been a Chelsea fan and walk over 6 months that won't be body with Chelsea. That's possible. Chelsea club, a very mysterious club. It's what is the Chelsea for normal catcher say, in the title competition, title racer. They knew that I said, this is too good to be true. BBI come our club, everything is going on well. These things happen at Chelsea every now and then. And about boom. But you would have to wait for the sample B to make a conclusive test on our branch here, your friend Mihalo Mudryk. And then I just wonder how players, no club, Enzo Maresca be focusing. Send a bear Sadi ain't taking a win out of the seal. Games or more. We are yet to ascertain what really is the extent of Mihalo. But by any means, say Udin come about doping and in sense they are a very serious issue. Yeah, very, very serious issue. Yeah, very, very serious. I mean, he had to go and appeal for 2 years. Yeah, before some Motisunti. A very serious issue, and that's a young player. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now to say,
Nyankopadumo.
Mudryk in some year now. CAF Awards 2024 no so kakra yen fam refi
samu players no more doping semi buy na e bibia ho kakra, but the understanding of the article Athletic page gives a lot of details. The edikan Serena Fiifi Kano. The doping test now they are somewhere abano has nothing to do with Chelsea Football Club. In November, and our brand a Kobo Eman national team which is Ukraine. Na senior mama di football at channel. The World Anti-Doping Agency for no, they are part of football administration. Na omojumedie and say omobebe say player bia emfa no boni anase performance enhancement ade a be ma na ho den abu obi de so emfa nsi akan. What they do when they say randomly say about games we are omo nshada any list, but based on obi omo gidi say I also omo the test no na omo free for test. So the a tight in the two Mihalo Mudryk no Ukraine about game every then the anti-doping agency yeah pemu players in the dope okay Mudryk yanko na yanko your test and omoko ya branch the test. Now you see a nyam medonium e ne sample ni mu, and you see medonium we this is not the first time I'm at it. Mekai Maria Sharapova, I think it was around March 2016.
Tennis star.
Yes. saa tam no yɛ world number 1 ɛwɔ maa no mu ɔno nso saa yɛyɛ na anti-doping ɛhu medonium ɛwɔ ne sample no mu yɛba no 24 months ɔde kɔ arbitration ansa na arbitration for sports
Melusu nti hwɛ wayi ne ma me na yɛntoa so nhyira 104.5 so na no yɛhwɛ reporter aba sɛ Mihailo Mudryk abrante no yɛse ɔmo ɛyɛ ne doping test no as in the first test no sample A abrante no attested positive nti ɛno aho discussions ɛna yɛyɛ ne wie a CAF awards no so ha yɛbɛka wasɛm kakra na yɛde abɛfinti menkyɛw na woka Maria Sharapova deɛ no
Maria Sharapova in March 2016 saa time na ɔyɛ world number 1 ɛwɔ mmaa tennis no ɔno nso saa the same substance medonium ɛna yɛkye no she was banned 24 months and ɔde asɛm no kɔɔ CAS ɛna CAS stay so from 24 to 15 months ɛwɔ hɔ mekae boxer Alexander Povetkin no so no Deontay Wilder ɛwɔ bout to be bought around 2016 ɔno nso May ɛna the same medonium anti-doping for no ɛkye no and on it Deontay Wilder ntɔkwa no it was suspended indefinitely ɔma anko ntɔkwa ni mpo na Rich according to athletic for ɔmo article no ɔmatwerɛ no ɔmo se medonium substance no sɛ na afi feature mu no ɛyɛ anti-mania medication nti ɔmo wɔ low flow of blood ɛwɔ ɔmo akoma ho no ɛna ɛyɛ ɔmo taifa sɛ na ɛbɛyɛ a ɔmo body no ɛbɛboa ɔmo ama sɛ na heart ne pump blood no ɛbɛsi a regulate ɛde ama ɔmo na US anti-doping for no say ɔmo kurom hɔ no ɛyɛ ban FDA for no nti ɔyɛ aduro mpa untimi fa bi mpo nso aduro nim there are some part of Eastern Europe ɔmo nso so no ɛyɛ ban kra yɛwɔ other European countries sɛ obeteki any drug medonium woman ɛyɛ purely prescription
the doctor trauma
the doctor say asumasi ohia saa deɛ no ansa na ya tompo at the amount that is how they deal with it now mekai in January 2016 and a World Anti-Doping Agency for an enlisted medonium beka omo ban substances on and before January 2016 sene wo mo jamumpa na enka ban substances on now in January 2016 the anti-doping for no say omo de kan ho say they realize after research say obi asade ni bi woni mo jam bia no ema endurance and as oye exercise ema the capacity to recover quickly until to so be a training wa bre so ba no fa aduru amadu no mpe no the person recover in 10 minutes say oye obi a what time fast aduru na it means say you are gaining some advantage in the competitive world no over way no look media me hu say according to sources athletic for no no almost say English FA say if you are found guilty of these things a straight liability in law you can say be a straight liability and said what red light or traffic there is no explanation to it what a red light untimi ka say na me ye call na mani ni me ho so me were problems wo fie the moment you cross the red light above and that is what the English FA is communicating to journalists or say look say I'm papa say you find it out say or you're guilty and man anybody we will not even listen to any other explanation say na obi also na and wife medication yes and na me wo pain bi na or so we painkiller na me fire and me so me num biti enya dia mani da ho English FA say omo empene okay very very sad and Mati say Frank Mo air report so about me 4 years near the I don't believe so Minjin this ever cut that far but Rich me conclude the crown I think I have a little problem with the way Chelsea handle issue no the last 5 games in all competitions Mudryk in both game Enzo Maresca explanation why Abrante and squad home, and he said, "Oh yare." If it happens, say, because of this issue, and Abrante and Embo gamer, it means the coach lied. It means Ochantro. You could have said, "Oh, for personal reasons," and personal reasons can be BBR, but to say, Abrante and yare there. If indeed say Babon say yes, asked idea we are, and look, we should be very, very blunt with Chelsea. Ukraine for journalists, that's some of the story in the Babon thing. Now Chelsea I issue official statement on it. So what it means is that Ntisenka and confirm from outside Chelsea and start to blow story now. Etika Chelsea the common communication say, oh, this is what has happened with Mudryk and sometimes say Ghana we blame Kotoko Haas for being more reactive than being proactive. And it's the same thing. And a club friend Chelsea. Bad news. The good thing is that Arsenal say Mudryk no Chelsea are winning. Until on some key player bit to Enzo Maresca some way a bit to me ahano. But at the end of the day, he's a player will be expected and can normal be say bow. But look at what this antidote now here Abrante FN pop over. All of a sudden that's the left and right be but these are the things I bit to me I can at the alpha conditions now.
Yeah, farmer check calf awards na Isaac Mensa on Facebook. I say if antidoting test is being done in Ghana League here, then many players in Ghana will be banned forever. The weed smoking is too much. Oh, Debbie.
You see, me on top of these drug issues, I don't have any expert view be our home. Until maybe our more expert view, no, who can tell us what is contained in weed are a part of the banned substances, you know, if indeed you find here. But I just with your street knowledge, you know. Say, oh, tight so because oh, chale me ko twitwi mu a ema minya ahodi bi the body then that is literally what we call performance enhancement.
So definitely a better
what say ni bakoni ka say me de me normal ahodi ko bobo na mintimi enyina me na so money ni bre so and do the whole 90 minutes, you know. But say mitimi di kakra bi so me video mu a ema mitimi bobo na ni bre so aggressively for 90 minutes then the person is confessing say at the end of it gives him some edge in terms of the endurance. And see, I don't know how medically you make that case for it. But when you say that topic way, this is not the first time we'll be a review. Mekai Kotokone has to be Benintimo time. Benintimo be short to abontin through some media skirmishes no prison say almost suspected a house of fun for nobody. And that's Omobel recommend my F for say, you be doping and sunny as started. I'm a some way call ask for young penny, rich in the crack. Say, if you see Africa, I don't know boy affair hoodie. But if indeed born I am
the Ukrainian Kabachi place.
I was
Kabachi Bibri.
What's the famous interview from Shapiro? Unim Shapiro.
Ay,
coach.
Coach Sapon, yeah.
So what's some guy? So on also at the place. Was boys in the
boys in the
but the other ball.
Alright, Eric Carver was on the Kakranra. I was on the Diana, Lipadudona, a channel, and the men's player of the year. No, now said the Nina, and shared him say, Juan, the Becono, of course, a Juan, so and a coin. Ademola Lookman, Osia Kandi, Emma. Atlanta, our Italy, Nechi Efri, Nigeria. Is that Brantano? Red Hot, Boa or Bo, our Europe, and the last AFCON course on the Nanyasam Kitokada. Yense Abra, and Penny for Boni didn't say or no, and I had the winner, Men's Player of the Year 2024, Ademola Lookman.
Yes, Ademola, congratulations. So, other Ballon winners still in the house?
The winner is Ademola Lookman.
How can see a brand new Brandon didn't say or the best player our Africa 2024 no and say Yabobi Ede Amam, of course, coach of the year. Ememani Diano Ekodema ML5. Abrantena Obeji Jumano Kwem Cote d'Ivoire 7 American. Obeji Cote d'Ivoire Jumano Kwem Edom Etwaso Eji Afkono on Ampeni4 in the moon as the best coach of the year. Goalkeeper Sono Ekodema South Africa goalkeeper. Fense Ronwell Williams or no. And Eko Edema Nafi team of the year. And so Edekoma Al Ali of Egypt Omo. And a member so Diano team of the year. Eko Ade Emamu Awo. Now Oba best 11 Africa. Best 11 no. Andrew Onana and Omandine 2 Ego Pusimu. Ashraf Hakimi, Khalidou Koulibaly, Chancel Aye Mbamba, Sofiane Amrabat, Frank Yannick Kessié, Yves Bissouma, Yani Ankasa Kudus Mohamed, Afe Abrante Fensa Mohamed Salah, Victor Osimhen, and Ademola Lookman, as the best player of Africa 2024. I had this time, mention Siemfa and free, but Abrante was a friend Harrison. God's great Dunu. I say weed is prohibited at the mines because it's an enhancement. When you are caught, you are fired. It was even at mines prohibited. Sebi weed fire fan say wa fa di bi e bebo ama ho den sem ne ade no ebetimi akoso bat me mpese ye bedu ali so much o na yemfa wa na akofa ba enti no say o mbese bedu ele a yenko ye awo so no.
First of all, I think say fire the story no and how he won the AFCON for Ivory Coast no. Na obeying here this kind of award. Send a story ni bedim. May assure yourself for years to come, we will be looking back at CAF awards and say, oh, there came a moment already a friend five, AJ coach of the year of Africa. Then Enchima people say, what did he do? Na yaka say, oh, Ivory Coast hosted AFCON. Almost started a tournament with a French coach. Now Fai as a homegrown coach, any assistant. Tournament in course na omo head coach in the Fai by. Utimi be my country, to win the AFCON. An incredible story. Etimi anyam ngwa say, what we need the best coach, na or they are crowning. Again, I think it's an open secret. Say Ademola Lookman was going to win. For Obi to say me sure ya check. Especially when he was the only African not the Ballon d'Or final nominees list not all part of it. It's a manage no. Aside no. Ni numbers, ni impacts, and no ma win here, both with club and country Me sure so be beno. Me sure. Say obi beno. And meaning say what serve the media, both traditional ni social ni bibia. Nobody is contesting. Obiang and say na award numpono. There was a competitor to Obia. Abranti friend Ademola Lookman. And that is very, very good for him. Now, Rich, my problem is what the best 11.
That's why best goalkeeper in Williams. It drew 11 now. Also, made the Onana and Eda go.
Exactly, that's the problem. So that is the first red flag. Say, oh yeah, awards. Awards now, oh yeah, on that particular day now. Onana was a competitor to Williams as one the best goalkeeper in Africa. And away Williams as the best goalkeeper in Africa. Name must also your African best 11 there. And your best goalkeeper in that poem. Logic. A simple logic. Number 2. Rich. The year and a review. Bobaina Hakimi Koulibaly Mbemba. Ebo chain Abranti Afeno Edmond Tapsoba. Hey,
Esre.
Na ono Koulibaly no.
So we know Saudi.
Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Chance Mbamba. Soufiane Amrabat.
It's very, very funny. So we go Atlanta team anymore. The same team now. Ademola Lookman ebono. Unim Kosonu.
Yeah, Kosonu. Yeah.
Also about defense. Yes. About he played in the AFCON. Then played for Atlanta. Only African best 11 listing.
On the week out Obama Atlanta.
If you are watching football, now all the African players are modern, both on the continent for national teams and on clubs, whether Europe or even on the continent. These are not our best defenders in the year and our review. Debbie. Especially Edmond Tapsoba. Minim the entire. For me, he should have even made the last shortlist for the best player on the continent. Because Rich Obin Timimbo a whole Bundesliga season unbeaten and got Europe in the Europa League to the finals. Now on can tell me say he's not the best defender on the African continent. Then who is? Who is? First 11 idiot. Major problem. Major problem. Fankesi. At this time, Amrabat. Rich, the year and the review. Fankesi and Amrabat. Oma Bobo chain player be say Thomas Partey. No. Ye injuries free mo. Anytime Partey is fit. Rich, Partey is the reason why last season Arsenal were contenders to the Premier League. I didn't know about this season. I don't understand why you will make African best 11 and in today Amrabat na Frank Yanie Kese. Na Frank Yanie Kese. So she AFCON year. Rich, at a point in time, he lost his position in the team. Even for Ivory Coast. No, starting ball in Pobiem. That is what they want to tell us. For Obi said Victor Boniface. Obi said Gorasi. Any mo.
Mohamed Salah no.
Salah.
African 11. Now so players of Frank Yannick is dear bono boy. Amrabat. Manchester to Papa to see his matter.
You see, after to Papa saw Manchester. Everybody was tipping Morocco to win. They know me. And so Amrabat. Okay.
Kofi. Brambia said, anyhow, said, dear Bayo.
How much? I think that for me, Ademola Lookman is winning African best player. No, very, very instructive for me. Ninti America say watch Ademola Lookman 4 years ago. Now Ademola Lookman our Fulham team. 98 minutes on the dot. Fulham and West Ham at the London Olympic Stadium. Fulham enya penalty. The team no edda from 3 goals to 2. I saw Shena the team no about 3-3. And the young Ademola Lookman go try Panenka. Rich. When you listen to Ademola, and no I want to speech in your car room. I see 4 years ago, he was a joke in front of the world. Yeah. And that's the image of Ademola Lookman. Ejina boy him at the London Olympic Stadium. Fulham person take 1 point. And it's that time no. Now I call Everton. So Pep Guardiola English Premier League ni mu for no. Abrantie friend Ademola Lookman. No, was Everton team name under Ronald Koeman. Ronald Koeman, Everton team name share Pep 4-0. In fact, apart from that time, no, he had not been getting game time at Everton team in him. And about Fulham team, and Obenya has a chance to start playing under Scott Parker. Right? Tried a Panenka, and then the guy was a joke. Then move on to Leicester City. I want to breakthrough season. But so at Leicester, now almost can to be able to buy him full time. Nanti na a last minute. And an aka. Last minute no. And a branch of friend Ademola Lookman. Ni agent enya and say Uncle Atalanta. The story is that Oduru Bergamo, he didn't want to be in Bergamo. Because even with him, although a Nigerian, you know, a London na when you so you know those people are not test on because are part of Europe now. Then Gian Piero Gasperini speaks to him, then becomes the main boy for Atalanta. Rich. From this fast forward, scoring a hat-trick in a European final. Hat-trick. European final. Not one goal. Hat-trick in a European final. He played against a certain Bayern 04 Leverkusen team. Not until that game, no. Obian Shamu really match that. When you go back and you look at the highlights of that match, just look at how Ademola Lookman, the blind side of Edmond Tapsoba, and even Gilmaro that were defending the ball from the far post, no, ever tap it on in the first goal. Then the third goal, which was a tender ball from outside of the box, no, see, Ademola a next level, and I think it tells a brilliant story of how Eriasimu, your starting may be small, but if you stop going, if you stop moving, he never stopped moving, never stopped pushing, and our branch friend Ademola Lookman, and then the best player on the African continent.
Right.
Which now something happened at the ceremony that for me was very exciting.
Ademola
Euremuno, and on ne papa and ne mame and a nenam. And there was a point where a girlfriend or Nipano Mujano, the young man had to take a stop and then plant a kiss on a girlfriend and for me, a heartwarming. Because the best times in our life, for Nipa Mujina and Kenya brand Yamanku, people are Mujina and Chen, people that love us in tough times, you know, and maybe say do a good one for them. Which unim, the controversy surrounding the African awards, you know, is simple.
But how do we before I trust I didn't know
because
anytime you be G award na kasa
because
ebedu 11
because of your over dependency on unim. The perception of CAF, any CAF media, any organizers of the award, they say they want to make sure say near OG award no, while born home modding more, giving more relevance to AFCON or African competition than the European competition. So that is why, yes, it doesn't make sense. Say Obama, Roland, Aman, best goalkeeper. But in African team of the season, they don't give him the best goalkeeper in a team. You know? The award for them in their mind, fixated more on your man team, Sundowns on the African continent, and also for South Africa at the AFCON. You go and you look at Obitse Chancellor and Mbemba, who I can speak to. He was one of the best centre backs. Last AFCON boy for DRC. Also their captain, Oshe goes, he was solid. I can't speak so much for Kalidou Koulibaly. Ashraf Hakimi. And I mean, who Mekai say, okay, the award is in Morocco. And then the fact that he was almost average for the Moroccan national team, they wanted to put him there. So for them, Kamia say, even social the media videos, they don't post pictures of players in European club jerseys. Everything is in the national team. Ron Williams say, no, Sundowns and in the South African national team. You go and look at Kudus, they are looking at majorly what they did for their national teams. Unless more at the club side, okay, then they want to attach it to it. Into a calf now confusion of trying to focus more on the African game, try to give more relevance to it, vis-a-vis what goes on elsewhere in the world, especially in Europe. And it's these are confusions, neighbor. And that's where these issues are rich. The sad thing is there for us to talk about. Nigeria has overtaken us as a country with the most African Best Player of the Year awards. In the last few years, and Chebia, the big boys on the continent, take African Best Player. In your Oman way history, say, oh, Ghana, Yaji 5 times. Players are CAF Men's African Player of the Year, winners by country. 5 times.
There's a Cameroon lady.
Cameroon. But Nigeria will overtake. That's a sad thing. Because until Victor Osimhen, any last one, Ademola Lookman, we are tied with Nigeria. And Nigeria, Babeji, Emano, Asisala Toshiola last year. Now you look at the table, on top of us, there is Ivory Coast, Omaji. Then Cameroon with 11. I think so also be Mohamed Kudus, any party. And I was saying we could have given a huge shout to even to the top 3. But for your AFCON performance, your national team performance, Kudus last season in the Europa League, he was unstoppable. Oshe nominated goal of the season for Europa League or Bobo last season for West Ham. But Oba Ghana team didn't drive, or no Muson team drive. And it was same for Thomas Partey. Mainstay or Arsenal. But Oba Ghana team more struggle. So CAF really focus on national team. It is a Ghana new player and also GBB, AFCON best player. Ademola Lookman didn't want to play for the Nigerian Super Green Eagles. It took 3 times convincing. And so finally, all Nigerians will bomb a Nigeria team. So you have to value the national team before say Ubetimi a huge shout our African Best of the Year awards.
Now, some man for Bisasana and Richardo Siko draw no yana and Pato BNCA. And said the Edicab Mamaniano, ye chair 2005. Canena and Cassie 20 million. Ye chair num. Ayala Buena, ya drone is CA, ya drone is CA.